Hi everyone, my name is Veronica Victoria and I work with Leap Scholar as a master trainer. We are back with another IELTS speaking test video. I hope you like it. We have conducted this as in an actual test environment and I have also done a detailed analysis of the test towards the end. So please watch the entire video. Do like, share and subscribe to our channel. Good morning, my name is Veronica Victoria. What is your full name?
Good morning, my name is Tanya Rai.
And how may I call you?
You may refer to me as Tanya.
Hi Tanya. Tanya, we're going to start this with an introduction about yourself. Where are you from?
I come from a very small and quaint town called Bhilai in the state of Chhattisgarh.
And do you work or study?
I'm currently working and I have been working for the last 3 years.
Where do you work?
I work in a fintech based out of Bangalore.
Do you like your job?
I love my job. It provides me a lot of challenges and I'm also surrounded by colleagues who make me want to excel.
Right. Let's talk about your hometown now. Can you please describe your hometown?
It is a small and quaint town based in Chhattisgarh. My grandparents stay there and it's still a little bit older in compared to the tier 1 cities in India.
How long have you been living there?
I haven't lived there for the last 11 years. Primarily my grandparents stay there at the moment.
Have you observed any changes in your hometown in the past few years?
Yes, I have observed some drastic changes. It has modernized compared to a couple of decades ago, and I think that's a good sign.
Let's talk about houses. What kind of housing or an accommodation are you living in right now?
I currently live in a rented 1 BHK apartment.
Okay. And who do you live with?
I live alone without a flatmate and without my parents.
Okay. How long have you been living there?
It's only been about 5 months, but I'm hoping I can finish a year in the current apartment.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about teachers. Do you still keep in touch with your teachers?
I am in touch with a couple of my college professors. Sadly, I have not been able to keep in touch with teachers from my school.
Okay. Do you remember your favorite teacher from primary school?
I do not remember her name, but I know she was extremely kind and patient and she made me feel comfortable being myself.
Which subject did she teach?
She taught maths, and I think that because of her teaching style, I also felt a lot confident in the consecutive years doing maths.
All right. What qualities should a good teacher have?
That's a great question. I think a good teacher is definitely patient and knows how to adapt her teaching style based on her students' requirements.
Now we move on to part 2. I will give you your question. I'll give you a notepad and your stationery. You will have to go through it. All right. You'll have 1 minute to prepare in this round and 2 minutes to speak. Your question for part 2 would be, describe a positive change in your life.
This is a great topic for me to speak in about a positive change in my life. I strongly believe that it is extremely important for an individual to grow professionally and personally by making positive changes. Over the last few years, I've taken on multiple positive changes and I've also developed a lot of good habits. But by far the most impactful one has been waking up early in the morning, and specifically for me 6 a.m. I've not always been an organized person or a consistent person, and I've never really had a morning routine. But the turning point came in my life when I missed a morning flight simply because I was not able to wake up on time. That's when I knew I had to make a change, but not a drastic one. I made the decision to make smaller incremental changes and then started reducing my sleeping, started waking up early by 15 minutes. But because sleeping early is a twofold process, I was also sleeping 15 minutes earlier at night. This allowed me over the course of 2 months to wake up on time and also sleep on time. When I started, I never thought I would be a morning person, but in doing so, I've been able to adopt a lot more positive habits in my routine, like morning yoga, journaling, meditation, and I feel all of these have contributed towards making a more impactful and positive change in my life. And it's not for everyone, but I feel for me, it's definitely had a good impact.
So, Tanya, is your country changing rapidly?
I stay in India, which is a developing country. Naturally, over the last 2 decades, there have been a lot of changes in the country.
How's your country changing?
I feel there are different avenues in which the country is changing, industrialization, infrastructure. But one of the most significant changes I feel has been how internet has become accessible to a larger population, and this has opened up a lot more opportunities for individuals and businesses.
Okay. Do you think change is good? If so, why?
I think change is very necessary. In order to progress, in order to move forward, it's extremely important to have positive changes, not negative changes. It is also a sign of self-awareness, which is critical in growth.
Okay. Is it important for people to make changes according to their surroundings?
Absolutely. And I don't think this is just prevalent today, but even in the early days, humans, animals, plants all evolved based on the surroundings to survive. I feel similarly today, we need to change our mindset. We need to constantly grow depending on how the situation is in order to survive and better ourselves.
Do you think it is easy to accept change?
I don't think it is easy to accept change. It's extremely difficult. You need to, of course, one, be self-aware, and you also need to realize that in order to move forward, it's important for you to accept surroundings and accept change.
All right. Thank you, Tanya. That was the end of your speaking exam.
Thank you.
Now we will do an analysis based on this candidate's interview on 4 parameters, that is fluency and coherence, lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy, and pronunciation. Let us look at how she spoke throughout the session. She spoke really well. She spoke fluently. She developed her content quite coherently and appropriately. At some places, however, I felt that she could have expanded her answers, especially towards the part 3 of the test. Her answers could have been a little bit more longer than what it was during the test. Let us talk about her lexical resource. When it came to lexical resource, I think the candidate was using very good vocabulary. It conveyed a precise meaning to her answers. Words like incremental changes, confident, consecutive, quaint, excel, and there were many other words and vocab, even some idiomatic phrases that really helped her to develop her answers beautifully, especially in part 2. Now let us move on to grammatical range and accuracy. She did produce a majority of error-free sentences, but there were certain occasional errors, very few slips, not many at all. I think this was generally because she was a little nervous at some point in time during the interview, but that is quite natural. But try to be a little bit more calmer during your interview. This will help you to speak more effortlessly. With regard to her pronunciation, I was able to understand everything that she spoke. Her words came out of her mouth quite fluently, correctly. Every word, every tone, her intonation, the stress on the words was really good. So for this candidate, I would give her an 8.5. Okay, so now you all must have, you must have analyzed yourself right now. You know what band you are at. We have a huge number of videos on speaking tips. You have practices, different types of words, vocabulary, idioms, many ways we have in order for you to learn and improve your English and your vocabulary, specific topics related to the IELTS. Do go and watch these videos and tell us how you feel about it. Thank you.